Visible, sir?
Yeah, your screen's visible, Pranav. Then we can
Yeah,
start.
it is. It is. Please continue.
Yes. So I'll just start. Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Pranav. I'm the founder CEO of world's first of its kind Ayurveda-inspired functional confectionery brand, Awsum. So the whole concept of starting Awsum was how we can actually integrate and use the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda and combined it with the real whole food in terms of modern day confectionery format and help people deal better with lifestyle related while we were down under our lockdown. And we were forced to kind of have these ayurvedic kadas and chavanprash by our parents. So no matter, like, we had that kind of a security that this is going to do something good to us, but the taste was really not good. And that was a trigger point, which actually led to like to me to think about what we could do, how we can make these things more palatable and more delightful. So that was the inception point. In terms of our vision, we want to really work around and kickstart an alternate wellness revolution by building a community of people who wants to unleash the best version of themselves by using what we call as nature's pharma, because we want to go back to the basics, to the old good saying that says let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. So we are trying to kind of position ourselves at an intersection of food and medicine. So that is the vision. In terms of our mission, we just kind of want to inspire people to kind of lead a healthy lifestyle and unleash the best version of themselves, and also at the same time bring simplicity and joy to the otherwise boring world of supplements and nutraceuticals, which right now is just restricted to pills, capsules, these powders and stuff like that. So the problems that we identified were that there is an increase in the lifestyle related disorders. We all are living in these urban centers where the lifestyle we are leading is sedentary. That's actually pushing us to a lot of lifestyle related disorders such as stress, anxiety, sleep deprivation, diabetes, stuff like that. Then secondly, convenience in the use. We all urban dwellers, we are looking for convenient problem solutions, right? Convenient solutions to the problems. We don't really want to go out and like make a kada, as I gave you an example. It kind of requires a process of its own. So convenience is something we're looking forward to today. Effective of third is effect of allopathic medications. Somewhere deep down in our minds today, we all know that the allopathic medications, they follow a band-aid approach. They are just kind of fix one thing at a time, but they're not actually going to the root of the problem and solving it. And that's is the point wherein we are heading backwards and heading again towards the eastern medication or the traditional medications, which actually follows an integrated approach wherein they kind of go and work at the root cause of the problem. So we have seen a gradual shift happening from western medication to the traditional medication. And then in the end, I think stigma around pills and powders, we all don't really feel comfortable even popping pills for every different problem we have to. And still pills, powders in India still, or across the world also to a certain extent, don't really have that kind of an household acceptability. Even today, my mother, won't really allow me to kind of, pop these supplement pills. She still feels that, our food is so good. Why can't you have another additional bowl of, vegetables or dal, to kind of make good of that nutritional benefit. So I think it's still, the powders and pills don't really have that household acceptability as of now. The big question, why Awesome? I think we're focusing upon three key areas, when we design the products at Awesome. Firstly, all the products are effective. We have used, formulations which are very potent again, and ingredients that work best for our body. We've taken help from some of the best minds to kind of make these formulations. All our formulations are natural. They are derived from plants, and all our products are natural. Even if you talk about a chocolate, it's a natural pure form of chocolate that we use, and the herbs that are going inside it, they're all plant derived products. Nothing artificial is going inside our packed products. And the end, I think third one is delightful. So we've ensured that whatever products we are creating, they're delightful in the end. The consumption the way you feel while consuming a product also goes on to determine its absorption in the body, right? And that is something, we feel that whatever food you are eating, the food you are feeding into your body, these are, the instructions that you are giving to your body, right? So it becomes very important for the food to be delightful in order to feel good. In terms of our product range, we have a range of products. We have a functional chocolate bar, comes in three variants, zesty orange, almond mocha, and blueberry bliss. Again, first of its kind chocolates have no sugar. We have also blended in plant protein, and apart from that, a blend of herbal Ayurvedic herbs that is good for your brain health and gut health. Then we have a range of dry cakes, packaged cakes, which is done really well for us. These are first of its kind packaged cakes, made for all better for you ingredients. So you have no refined sugar, no refined whole flour. I mean, no maida, no egg. And then, we are using a very particular natural ingredient called beta glucan, which is a super antioxidant, and it's very good for your brain health and gut health. So it also actually is very good for your immune health also. And in the end, we have a range of therapeutic chocolates which have a very particular function, so to say. So we have a men's daily and a women's daily that acts like a multivitamin of sorts. So rather than having these multivitamin pills, you can actually have, these multivitamin chocolates. For both men and women, we have kind of have a different formulation basis the nutritional requirement of men and women. Then we have a restful sleep chocolate, which again is a very good chocolate to induce sleep. And in the end, we have a goodbye stress chocolate. Works very well to calm down your body and make you feel relaxed and calm. All our formulations are Ayurvedic formulations. They are 100% natural, non-addictive formulas, and all are FSSAI approved. Couple of consumer key trends that we observed, were that preventive wellness, the whole concept of preventive wellness is actually taking up pretty well. Mindful nutrition, people today are very mindful of what they're putting inside their body. We've seen, plant-based diets, picking up well. The concept of veganism, where people are moving from animal products, have also started picking up well. People are spending extra money even to kind of, have organic products in their plate. So these things, mindful nutrition has also picked up pretty well. And then I think the last one is alternate healthcare. We are also now, drifting towards, the age-old alternate medications and wellness, rituals. So, yoga for a matter, we've seen got a global acceptance, and people are, more and more moving towards naturopathy as well. So that also is a good trigger point for us, which we observed. In terms of our target audience, we believe that the first cohort, the consumer cohort we want to target are working millennials. We are planning like and trying to build an exciting new age functional food brand, which is targeting millennials, people who are kind of looking for solutions that are effective, simple to use, and in the end, tasty. So taste has to be there. What we realized was that if it's a food product, it really has to taste really well. We're ensuring that the product tastes well. In terms of a market size, I think the total addressable market is worth a US $178 billion, out of which serviceable addressable market for us, which we feel would be India, Australia, US. India, since we're here based out in India, and apart from that, Australia, US. They're the slightly developed worlds where a lot of consumers are inclined towards taking steps for their preventive wellness. So that is worth at around $31.7 billion. And for us as a serviceable obtainable market, we want to target 1% of that, which comes roughly at around $0.32 billion. What interesting thing we've also observed that the functional food and beverage category as such, it's a very new novel category, and it has a very good gross margin percentages of 70% plus. We've also observed that and they like it, they come back buying it again. So there is a good purchase, repeat purchase behavior that has been observed, and then there is a potential to turn profitable very early on. That also is something that's pretty visible in this market. In terms of our revenue model, we are planning to take a different route, and trying to kind of create an integrated sales channel for us, wherein people can discover us and even buy us from different online offline channels. So as of now, we have collaborated and our products are available in some of the best retail touch points of the country. So we're working with WH Smith, 7-Eleven India, Swiggy Instamart, Relay, 24/7, Big Basket, Zepto, Amazon, Flipkart, to name a few. Apart from that, the target would be to kind of create a channel of 1,000 plus retail touch points across India, and then take the help of Q-commerce portals as well. That's picking up pretty well, and goes very well with our kind of product range, as it kind of helps people gratify them instantly. In terms of our alternate sales channels and export channels, we're working and collaborating with Jamie Oliver's Kitchen. We're supplying our cakes to Akasa Airlines right now, working with Barista, Lapinos, Microlabs, to name a few. In terms of our export channel potentials, we also partnered and signed MOAs with distributors in Canada, Australia, and GCC, which we intend to kickstart very soon. And we've also now collaborated with a very big European vegan bar brand called Redo Foods, and we intend to kind of share knowledge and produce products together. And then we also have developed a first of its kind vegan millet based bar for the Indian football team, and we are supplying to the All India Football Federation right now. In terms of our current traction numbers, in last 3 months, we've sold more than 1 lakh product packets, and then, in terms of our gross merchandise value, it's close to around 1 crore 70 lakh. We have a good average repeat purchase rate of 18%. And again, for our cakes, we are the category best sellers in formats like 24/7 and WH Smith. We also are very privileged to work with organizations like Microsoft, Canon, KPMG, American Express, Bain and Company, Facebook, wherein we are supplying them with our products in their cafeterias, and then their employees are, enjoying our products there. In terms of our business goals, we are currently at a stage where we are raising our seed round. We've already seen a product market fit established for our products. Getting a good response coming out of market. Gradually, as we proceed, we want to kind of list our products across other e-commerce and Q-commerce platforms. At the same time, acquire more retail touch points. So already we have acquired and working on with Zepto and Swiggy Instamart, getting some good results. In talks with Blinkit also right now, and we're also trying to get a contract signed soon with Reliance Retail as well. So that's going to give us a very good presence in terms of our retail market as well. And I think the final vision, with which we're working, we have seen that there is a good pull, consumer pull, that's coming across the borders. So North America typically is a very good market for our kind of products, and we want to take the brand outside India also very soon. So that also is something on which we are working upon. And the final vision with which we are working is that we want to create a global confectionery brand that's emerging out of India, and creating best quality functional products that are inspired by Ayurveda. So that's like the final goal. In terms of our year-on-year growth for the financial year 21-22, we had a sale number of close to around 6,16,000. The next financial year 22-23, we did a 44 lakh worth of sales, and this year, as we closed it recently, the numbers were 2 crore 35 lakh rupees. So again, a good increase in the business is what we have seen, and gradually, the next year we intend to kind of, our target for the next financial year is somewhere close to around 8 crore rupees. In terms of our projected revenue numbers, post the fundraise, the quarters which you mentioned, we intend to grow at, a steady growth rate, wherein, intend to target 1 crore 20 lakh worth of a business in quarter 4, and then eventually, raise it up to 5 crore rupees per quarter business in financial year 24-25. That's the projected plan. In terms of creating the new product introductions in the market, we are also having a very interesting range coming around. We are planning to launch a very interesting line of products that's called Brookie. So it's a crossover of a brownie and a cookie. Comes in 3 flavors: double chocolate, coffee, caramel, and peanut pleasure. Then we also intend to launch a range of DIY own mug muffin, which you can kind of create at your own house by just adding water and microwaving it for a few seconds. Then also exploring formats like functional libido enhancing chocolates, which are good for their sexual wellness. So we did a small pilot during Valentine's Day with Swiggy Instamart, and we got a very good response. So coming along, we feel that it's a very strong market which we can tap upon. These are some of the products that we intend to launch as we grow further. In terms of our fundraise, we are planning to raise a 1.5 crore rupees of a round at a pre-money valuation of 24.5 crore rupees, post-money valuation 26 crore rupees. Out of the 1.5 crore, 1.2 crore has already been committed, and we also have Startup India Seed Fund contributing 40 lakh rupees in this round. Uh, in terms of the utilization, a 22% would go for working capital needs, 20% in human resource. We want to kind of have good people coming on board and help us scale the business. 15% would go for capex capacity building. 10% we want to utilize to launch the new products. The products are already developed. When we talk about new product launches, that will be like developing the packaging and launching them in the market. 20% will go for the marketing and brand building. Since we've got a good product pull coming from the market, we now want to spend some money in kind of creating a brand pull also, for our products. So 20% of it would go for marketing, and I think another 13% is what we want to utilize for international market entries, because we particularly feel that there is a very strong pull coming from developed worlds where people are very much particular about these concerns and causes. So North America and Australia are our first go-to markets we want to target. And in the meanwhile, Middle East and Europe also are markets which we can tap along as we grow gradually. In terms of our team, I'm the founder, CEO. This is my second venture. Before this, I've worked on another healthy snacking brand called Poshtik. And then I have people like Khalil, who again comes with a 7 year experience working in startup and typically FMCG brands, working with them. Akash heads our marketing right now, comes with again a good experience. And I think a good part is that, we have an exceptional panel of mentors and advisors, guiding us in our journey. So we have Dr. Anna Barlow, who's ex R&D head for Mondelez, which is one of the largest chocolate manufacturers in the world. She is indirectly invested in our company as well, as we were the only startup brand in Asia to get selected by Startup Bootcamp, which is one of the world's largest industry-based corporate-backed startup accelerators. So Anna is a partner there as well. And then we have people like Mr. Mukesh Katotra, who's managing the business for Jamie Oliver's in India. Has a very good F&B background, comes very handy for a business like ours. And then we have, Dr. Sandeep Kumar, who's a nutrition and sports science expert, Dr. Varun Katyal, who's a celebrity and wellness fitness expert, and Chef Nishesh, who's a corporate and R&D expert. So these people, their knowledge actually helps us a lot in creating and executing our strategies. In terms of functional food category, as I mentioned, it's a very new category. So there's a lot happening now across the world, and we have seen already that in the West there have been multiple successful outcomes which have come in this category. So brands like Kind Bar, Good Day Chocolate. So Good Day Chocolate is some, is doing something very close to what we are doing here in India. They're also a functional chocolate based startup, and PepsiCo actually came in very early on supporting them. And then, there are companies like Kind Bar who have already sold their business to a company like Mars for 5 billion Australia, 5 billion US dollars very early on. And then companies like Uplift and Milligram also have seen investments coming from Mondelez very early on in their business journeys with an intention actually to, acquire them, say 10 to 15 years down the line. So I think similar can happen with us also here in India, because, we are a very new category player for the Indian market, and the kind of product range that we are doing is a global range. So chocolates, cakes, they are something which are accepted across the world, and we have already started seeing a good pull coming from different parts of the world. As I said, so Forbes India recognized us recently as one of the top 200 companies, Indian companies with global business potential. Then start your story also recognized us as the 500 challenges brand in India. Then we also happen to be backed by Government of India, and beneficiary of Startup India Seed Fund. As I mentioned, we got selected for Startup Boot Camp Australia, wherein Government of Tasmania has invested indirectly into the company as they were the LP for Startup Boot Camp Food Tech Tasmania. In terms to grow and go international, we have also now planning to incorporate a company in Canada to explore the market potential of the North American markets. And for that, we've already got a letter of approval and a letter of support from a government designated incubator, TPDC Toronto. And they're also willing to pitch in 175,000 Canadian dollars of funding for the Canadian business operations. So I think that's about it for us at Awsum. And the vision which we are working is to kind of help people lead a better lifestyle through chocolates and cakes, and make them feel happy and good. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, Pranav. Any questions, Suresh and Samir?
Yeah, hi, this is Suresh. Pranav, thanks a lot. This is very, very sharp and focused presentation. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, yes, I can hear you, sir.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. So, I've jotted on a few things, and I think you kind of answered through the presentation. Quick couple of points, nevertheless. See, this is Ayurveda as or a wellness kind of a thing. Um, it's more emotional than scientific, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of now, and we've seen the most recent cases in Supreme Court as
Not
well.
really, sir.
So,
I mean, yeah.
just want to understand from a messaging point of view. I know it's a goodness of a chocolate, or don't feel bad about a chocolate. Yet at the same time, it's sugar free and all the wellness of Ayurveda. But given the kind of situation that's prevailing, 50-50, and there's a guy called Liver Doctor who's extremely vocal on social media. I'm sure you follow him. Has kind of put a push back. So just thinking, wanted to get your sense from a CEO's perspective as to, is this the unique selling proposition, A? And if the answer is yes, there seem to be hundreds of brands that are in this space. So how do you plan to differentiate yourself?
Yes, sir. So I think for us as a brand, what we are planning to do, definitely, it is a selling proposition for sure. That our products, we are using Ayurvedic herbs and creating products that have functional benefits. So definitely it works as a good positioning and a USP for us. Since there are not many brands across the world, not just in India, who are using Ayurveda to kind of give a functionality to a confectionery products. What we have seen is there are a lot of nutraceutical food supplement brands selling pills, juices, and capsules, powders, those kind of formats, and kind of putting in, say, something like ashwagandha. But we've been very vocal about the fact that what I feel is that it's a food product, and we consumers today are looking for comfort while consuming the food. So if that is the claims that are going on the pack, if they're backed by Ayurveda, it gives a lot of comfort to the consumer, that even if they're not very much aware about what the product is, they just know one thing, that this is not going to do any harm to me, right? So that actually plays pretty well for us as a brand, and that has turned out really well for us. So not just that our products are effective, but again, they're very delightful in the whole consumption experience and very tasty in the end. So there's a good repeat that we have been able to observe during that time.
Yep. No, thank you. Just a quick couple of points, and I don't want to hog the light, but I was just doing a cursory search on the brand. Looks like the Awsum brand, including the spelling, seems to be already there with a few other companies, isn't it? There is an Awsum brand in the US, and then there is a brand in India that seems to be doing some fertilizer pest control. Just thinking aloud here, what's your take on that? is there something that worries you, or it's okay? I mean, just from a brand name point of view.
Uh, well, sir, definitely, we are aware about the fertilizer brand, and you've already kind of, because our, the awesome that we like, the word mark that we use, it has already been trademarked. So we have got the trademark for that same, and we have already kind of, initiated a legal thing for that fertilizer company. In terms of the US brand, I don't know, I'm not aware about that, if it's there, but
It's
yeah,
called
in terms of,
sorry, sorry to interrupt, but it's called Awesome Snacks, in fact, but the spelling is the same as yours, and they sell
okay.
all sorts of cheddar cheese and the very very typical American snacks.
Okay, I
Since
mean,
you are
I
looking
will.
at America as a market, it might be a good idea because eventually you get there, and I know it's called Awesome Snacks in full, but end of the day, the spelling is what matters, and that market is a little different. I just thought I'll point him in the just more information than
So,
I'm sure it'll
yeah,
help
very
you.
well pointed out
One,
point. Yes.
one last point. If you can quickly move to the seed capital utilization slide, please. I just have a quick observation. Yeah, that's this one, the seed round. Now, given that 1.5 CR is, it's not a large amount of sum, and I think you already mentioned you kind of got what, more than 1 crore committed, including something from the Startup India.
So,
Okay, so just one observation is, I'm not so sure if 13% is a small, it's 15, 16 lakhs, neither here nor there from an international market entry. And also how much of a new product launch you want to focus on, given that you already have a decent set of products. That's 23% extra. I would argue that as a team, my recommendation would be to use that extra 20 odd percentage of funds, which is almost 30 lakhs, into marketing. I think brand building and even GTM are absolutely important, particularly in Indian markets, given that you have what, 40 lakhs of run rate and you're currently looking at 2 crores this year. Just my one observation would be, because 13% of 1.5, that is what it's neither here nor there from an international market entry point of view. It doesn't really move a lot of needle there. Just my observation. So I would urge the founders to kind of look at maybe doing a little bit more on the marketing side and prioritize that and build the brand, and stitch those MOUs with the guys like Blinkit and Zepto, really, because quick commerce has really become the big thing, isn't it? So when I saw the slide, it hit me, so I thought I'll just give a quick feedback on that.
100%, sir. I think what the point you mentioned is really apt. But like when we say international market entry, the amount that we have kept, the products are already developed, right? So the 1.3, the 13% of the raise that we want to deploy would just be on the regulatory aspects, fixing the regulatory aspects of the packaging and to kind of obtain the licenses, because as we have already, I mentioned, we've already signed MOUs with the distributors who are willing to kind of help us set up a distribution channel in geographies like US, Australia, and Canada. So we don't then have to utilize or use our funds in doing that. So typically it will be just to kind of get the product ready for that particular market, get the basics intact, and then start testing the market once, and again in another 6 months to a year down the line, what we intend to do is to raise a bigger round, and there we would really want to kind of have a bigger chunk of money being allocated for expediting the growth in those markets. And in terms of our new product launches, also said the products, we have a very strong product pipeline. So the product launch pie here, which says 10%, would be used to just kind of, do the packaging, printing, and packaging development for that product. We don't really have to pay, any amount of money to doing trials and testing. The products are already developed. So when we have to launch the market, when we launch the product in the market, we just have to kind of spend that money on developing the products and kind of introducing it in the distribution channel. So that 10% is just marked out for that. So that is what I feel. And I mean, you have a very valid point that as a brand, you know, the more money you put in onto the marketing and branding thing, the better results you yield. But as a brand, we still want that, for another 6 to 9 months, because 1.5 cr is not that a big amount. So even if a 20 to 30% of marketing budgets, that we use, won't really yield a very massive impact on the business. So we just want to use those funds very frugally on creating right impactful marketing campaigns, so that there are those which could be actually rightly linked with the sales triggering and happening on through the sales channels. And we've already seen that the channels like Zepto and Swiggy Instamart, where we are present at, organically we are getting a very good sales happening from there, without even investing a lot on the visibility part. So eventually the plan would be to kind of slightly start increasing the visibility budgets there, and then increase our current numbers, sale numbers, to make them at least 2x, and then maybe go for a bigger round of raise. So that is the whole plan.
Okay, fine. Thanks, Pranav. Samir, any questions from your side? Uh, Samir, are you there?
Yeah, Manish, I'm there. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. No,
Any?
thanks. Yeah. So just one or two questions. I think all these relevant questions were put in by Suresh. Very insightful. Thanks. Pranav. One question. Using Ayurveda,
I'm unable to.
highlight about the product range and how we are marketing it. Now, we also talked about the classical Ayurveda, its benefits. Now, are you also solving for something with Ayurveda in terms of the treatment, in terms of the benefit, or in terms of it is coming out as in uh, uh, you okay uh, better health product? Are we positioning it as in snacking? It is a mindful snacking product, or the product range what we have is less harmful for you, to you in terms of the composition of or the ingredients of the product, or are we also talking about the benefits what Ayurveda has to do, complementing it with this chocolate range of products? Second, the related question is it acknowledged, or is it, do we have some certification from Ayush, which is the ministry, which is also now taking this to a next level, and there's a lot of inputs. They have a role to play in terms of how and what all support they are extending to the state.
So I think I'll answer your second question first. So I think in terms of getting a certification of Ayush, the kind of category products that we do, they don't fall under the permit or purview of Ayush per se, because these are the products that are allowed to be sold OTC, over the top, over the counter, and they essentially are food products. So they fall under the ambit of FSSAI only, right? So FSSAI has a different set of guidelines for functional foods, which they have released, a year and a half back, and documenting specifically about what would be included in functional food and nutraceuticals. So the food products, they fall under FSSAI. So Ayush is not really directly linked, for our kind of products, because Ayush actually take care of the Ayurvedic drugs and the
So
pharma.
I correct, correct. And that's the reason why I said that if you are using this Ayurveda thing extensively, it may impact, or it may get also questioned in terms of how is that we are doing. I'm sure you are watching on what's happening with Patanjali, right?
Yes. So I
So
mean, sir, I completely, understand, the concern, but say the thing is here, we are not making any false claims that, this product is gonna, help you with a certain thing, or, help you cure a certain disease. whatever claims that we are making, they are all well documented. So just to tell you an example, our cakes, the claims that we make, that it's good for your gut health, it's good for your brain health. It is a clinically proven claim. We have the relevant documents. The product has been developed with in collaboration with Kerry, which is one of the world's largest nutraceutical manufacturers, and we are the only company in the world that has used that particular product, beta glucan, in a cake format. So again, in terms of our claims, whatever we are making, we are very careful about what's going on to the pack, and at the same time, we also put in the relevant disclosure and warning signs on the pack. In terms of, say, in terms of our therapeutic chocolates, we never say that this is going to help you sleep. We always say that this induces sleep, right? But at the same time, on the back of the pack, we also write it very clearly that this is not a medicine, and the intended use of product is not to cure you from a disease, right? It is a product which again and again, all the claims that we are making are backed by proper researches that have been done. And I think the very fact that we are a beneficiary of a government grant also is that we have KIIT Bhubaneswar as our knowledge partner, and Niftem Sonipat. Both of them, Niftem is a government aided college, food technology college, that comes under the direct purview of Ministry of Food Processing. So we have done some extensive evaluation of the claims also that we make on the pack. And then to have, say, people like Anna also on the board,
Sure.
coming from an extensive R&D background. We are not really doing any kind of like
Sure.
I would say, just making any claim just for the sake of making it. It's very well thought about, and very subtly we are pushing our method, messaging out loud. So that is, I think, what we are doing.
Sure. No, Pranav, thanks for taking that second one. Now, somehow these two questions are interrelated, and hence the usage of word Ayurveda or that as a that or as a keyword in terms of marketing or promoting or talking about it may impact it. I do not want to undermine the product and the value what it brings in terms of the health benefits and the efficiency of the product, but it is usage of Ayurveda has to also be backed up by some linkages or some benefits, or either in terms of the content of the product, if it is qualified with respect to using the natural ingredient to a certain percentage, and then having that particular ingredient having a particular impact on a particular uh, uh, body type or a disease or a health benefit there could be used. However, in the current scheme or things, it becomes a health conscious snacking food brand, rather more of that than of an Ayurveda formulation of any sort.
100%. I think, sir, that's why, we, like in our messaging, also in the communication bit, we always use the word Ayurveda inspired, right? Because essentially it's snacking, right? It's snacking, but it's a different vertical of snacking, and that has been now formalized also as functional foods, right? So that is a terminology now that has been very well accepted and incorporated into the legal scope of framework by even the top food regulators of the world, including FSSAI, right? So, I mean, we are not saying that this is an Ayurvedic product. We say it's an inspired product from Ayurveda, wherein we are using herbs, like ashwagandha, ginseng, brahmi, and the claims we make are also very subtle. We are not saying that, this product you use and this is going to, help you cure this disease. It's not like that at all, and we are very specific, even if we say lifestyle related disorders are only things that could be cured and could be reversed, fixing your lifestyle, right? So our food actually helps as a facilitator, right? So just by consuming our products, or just by consuming one pill, you can't really reverse your diabetes. It's a complete aspect, or a
No, no,
complete
in fact, that's not even true for a classical Ayurvedic medicine. I'm actually a student of Ayurveda. I have a keen interest. I read about it, and I also consume as an Ayurvedic medicine. So even if you are taking a classical Ayurvedic medicine, you can't even have a claim over that. There are disclaimers,
yeah.
and that's not therapy benefit what it extends. So One is Ayurveda inspired, the second is herbs in Ayurvedic, some of these categories are herbs infused in the product. They're two different things. Probably I took it the other way in terms of there are certain formulations where we are either, when you say inspired also, then it's a very broad definition, right? You inspired in terms of the formulation, you use the reference of kadas in the beginning, right? So how those are formed, that's nothing to do with the inspiration what we draw in terms of how we curate our kind of a product. Probably the ashwagandha, ginseng, and some of the other herbs which are more popularly known today in the consumer market are being used or are being infused in the product. So I think that's where I would want to also suggest, in case if you can use that kind of and wisely, so that at least it shouldn't boomerang at any point in time because of just this thing. However, bringing Ayurveda into mainstream is a good thing, but we should do this responsibly, so that at least instead the good work what you are doing on the product shouldn't get just questioned.
Thank you, sir. I think the point that you have mentioned definitely is very valid, and from a brand's or a business standpoint, we take relevant safeguards and then adequate measures to kind of keep things in check, that whatever claims we are making, they're not derogatory or misleading in any way or manner. Yeah.
So thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Samir. Thanks, Suresh. Thanks, Pranav, for the detailed presentation, and I think interesting concept. So I think so, Pranav, we'll get back to you after a few days. Let me just check with everybody, and we'll get back to you.
Sure, sir. Looking
Yeah.
forward, sir.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Samir. Thanks, Suresh.
Just one
Yeah,
one quick
Suresh.
one. No, very quick one. So how much is the capital being looked at? How much is the quantum of sum? Because you already, out of 1.5, you already kind of picked up a bit, right? So what's the net sum being looked at for this round of investment?
So we're looking
For
at
this
30 lakh rupees, sir. Out of 1.5, 1.2 is already being committed.
Okay, 30 lakhs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And this is pre-money of 25, is it? That's what you're saying.
24.5 pre-money, 26 post-money.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Suresh. Thanks, Samir. Thanks,
Thank
Pranav.
you, sir.
Yep.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
bye. Thanks.
Have a nice day.